Greetings guys, back in Sydney and back at the movies once again, and tonight, thanks to Warner Brothers and Universal Pictures who are doing the distribution, we've been invited tonight to see the Australian premiere of The Flash, the highly anticipated film. It's been a very long time in the making. It is directed by Andy Muschietti and it stars, of course, Ezra Miller and the great Michael Keaton, and as well as a few interesting cameos including Ben Affleck and the introduction of Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Extremely looking forward to this film, a lot of anticipation around it. We're just about to head in and check this film out. Hopefully you enjoy the footage in the meantime, and I'll be back after this to let you know my thoughts on the film and to give you a review of the movie. Talk to you soon.
Head down a bit. Yep.
Hi.
I love you!
Thank you.
Patching you into Mr. Wayne.
No, please don't.
I need you here now, Barry.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things. I can save people. I can save my mom. I can save your parents.
You could also destroy everything.
Love you, Mom.
I love you too.
So how was it this week? How's school?
School was good. Oh, this is mad trippy. Dude, this is catastrophic.
This world must die.
I'm not gonna lose her again. It's not Clark.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
Interesting group. Want some help?
Wait, he's Batman?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh, this rips! We're in uncharted territory. Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
You have fancy friends.
No, it was an Uber. Oh. exec.
Greetings guys, once again just got out of seeing the Sydney and Australian premiere of the brand new film from DC and Warner Brothers, and that is The Flash, the highly anticipated film that's been many years in the making. It's finally been released, and I have to say I highly recommend it. It is very entertaining indeed. Lots of very interesting cameos as this kind of film plays a lot with much like Spider-Man did. It plays around with the multiverse. Now there's a bit of a history in DC Comics dealing with the multiverse on kind of various levels. But really a lot of this film, it has to be said, leans very heavily into kind of that storyline from DC Comics that was known as Flashpoint. Basically Barry Allen, the Flash, goes back in time to change history a bit. In this case he's trying to save his mum from dying, and basically his father from being jailed for the murder of his mother. So that's kind of essentially the premise. But after that we kind of see a really interesting kind of take on a film. A lot of film pundits and people in the film industry have said that this film is fantastic. Now I will say that first act kind of very similar to what a lot of the other DC Extended Universe films have been like, and that's films that have stemmed all the way back from Man of Steel, which was fantastic, but you know, things like Batman v Superman and the Justice League. It has a very similar feel, and there's very interesting kind of cameos in this, in the first kind of act that were really noteworthy and fantastic, and I thought it was executed very well compared to a lot of the other DC Extended Universe films. There is that looming cloud of Ezra Miller in this. He has had a little bit of interesting kind of things going outside of this film. I'll just leave it at that. But in this film, he does a remarkable job, and congratulations to him for a fantastic performance. He has to play opposite himself in this film quite a few times, and the way he kind of acts opposite himself is remarkable. They really feel like two different people and two different personas, but it's essentially him acting off himself, and I thought it was seamless and remarkable, and just the visual effects teams, just for kind of creating that seamless effect, I thought was really fantastic. It's kind of taken what they did in Back to the Future like to another level. Funnily enough, I mentioned Back to the Future. There is some references to Back to the Future in this film. I have to say, as far as time travel goes and dealing with kind of concepts in relation to that, Back to the Future does it the best. That script is fantastic. This film kind of tries to really take some elements of that and it executes them quite well, but not as well as something like Back to the Future. Now, there is a very interesting kind of introduction in the middle of this film. Let's say probably the start of the second act. And that is the introduction of Michael Keaton and the 1989 Batman. He kind of finds himself in this due to some interesting circumstances. And I tell you what, that first act, I did have to kind of say, this is an interesting film. I'm not sure if it's as good as everyone's saying it is. But as soon as Michael Keaton hits the screen, and as soon as that familiar Danny Elfman music from the 1989 soundtrack from Batman kind of hits, and those kind of familiar, kind of iconic elements like the Batcave, the Bruce Wayne mansion, of course the Batmobile, those little things kind of really take you back in time. And I personally quite loved that film when I saw it all the way back in 1989, but really I didn't realise how much of effect that had on cinema history. That film has really been highlighted in this film, and it's a remarkable thing to see how the audience reacts to all those elements, and how I reacted personally to it. I think that it's one of the great strengths of that film, just introducing that character once again. Michael Keaton steals the show. He's fantastic in this. He is phenomenal. And really, once he is introduced in that second act, it is a formidable kind of film. Really kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat, kind of just some of those tropes and cameos around that are just fantastic, and just a lot of the callbacks. There's a few kind of humorous kind of moments with callbacks to some of the dialogue from the 1989 version of Batman. I particularly love the one where he's asking how much do you weigh. I thought that was really a sneaky one that they kind of put in there, and just in the context of the film, it was just fantastic. I thought it was very well done. Congratulations to Michael Keaton. He is a phenomenal actor, and just what he provides to this film, I just felt like I was just transported back to those glory years of kind of those 1980s kind of cinema pieces that you kind of saw repetitively. It was just really fantastic to see him. The newcomer in this is Sasha Calle, who plays Supergirl. It's a very interesting kind of different version of Supergirl. The one that I'm familiar with is kind of the blue eyes and the flowing blonde hair, but this one really does suit this film quite well. An introduction of her is quite fantastic, probably a little bit mysterious in some ways, but she does a fantastic job, and she offers a lot, kind of a little bit more of an angrier, more passionate version of that kind of superhero, but she's a very welcome addition to this. But really, the stars of the show, in the role of Barry Allen, Ezra Miller, fantastic. All the versions that he plays of that character, and also the formidable Michael Keaton. He does a fantastic job. There are some wonderful cameos. I'm probably not spoiling anything by saying Ben Affleck is in this movie, and he does pretty well in that, I have to say. But it is interesting because just watching this film, you do realise that Michael Keaton is a better Batman than Ben Affleck, and a better Bruce Wayne than Ben Affleck. I don't want to use it as a criticism, but it just really shows. Michael Keaton just really steals the screen in this, and that is saying a lot considering when he introduced this character to cinema audiences all those years ago. Other key cameos, it feels like they kind of sprinkled them in. They're done really well, very well indeed. But sometimes you do have to say it's a bit more fan service than serving the plot. Particularly, there is a post-credit scene in this. Kind of felt like it went really nowhere, but it's nice to see that character kind of return in this, but really doesn't offer you anything additional to the story. And just in that final act, it is full of action. It kind of hits all the right emotional points, and it tears at the emotional heartstrings, really. It's fantastic the way it's done. However, I have to say, the way it finishes, it does finish in a way that kind of surprised me. There is another interesting cameo at the end of this that is not something that I kind of predicted. It kind of serves the story, but it really does tell you where this franchise has gone all the way back from when Zack Snyder established it with Man of Steel all the way back in 2012, and fast forward to The Flash now, but everything in between, including the Justice League, including Batman v Superman. There was definitely an option, I think, to reset this kind of universe and make it progress forward with perhaps new actors playing different roles. But the way this film ends, it does make me feel like they've kind of put a full stop on this section of that universe at least. It's a fantastic film, but it really is a kind of a full stop on what Zack Snyder kind of established all the way back then. A lot of credit also has to go to Andy Muschietti, the director. He understands kind of cinema really well, and kind of those emotional kind of set points that you need to kind of hit in this. It's a fantastic genre film, really entertaining. But yeah, he does put a nice heartwarming kind of conclusion to what was established all the way back with Man of Steel. Now, it will be interesting to see what is next for DC, but I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a bit of a reboot here with DC Studios kind of coming in with obviously James Gunn at the helm. But yes, it is a fun film. Definitely check it out. Probably the best DC film I've seen in quite a number of years, and that's saying a lot. Very enjoyable, and ties together a lot of what was established by Warner Brothers with all of their DC-inspired films, and I think that says a lot about the understanding and the passion kind of that this team has produced a film like this. Really great, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes in the future. Obviously the multiverse kind of opens up to infinite amounts of possibilities. There is very interesting cameos in that universe, as I said, but yeah, it does feel like they might be moving in a bit of a different direction as I've seen the conclusion of this film. But to say that, definitely go check it out in the cinemas. It's very enjoyable, very entertaining. I did think there was some slight issues with the first act, but really the second and final act, really fantastic, very enjoyable, and a lot of that is based off the presence of Michael Keaton when he enters the fray. So definitely stay tuned for that. Aside from that, I'm about to head off, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. So long.